Thank you so much. And I'd like to introduce, as our opening speaker, Maggie Campbell, President and CEO of the Partnership for Downtown St. Louis. Maggie?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. For those of you in the audience who may not know about our organization, the Partnership has a single purpose. At a time when so many urban centers are hollowing out, to borrow words from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, we exist to bring vitality to the heart of the city and to the core of our region. And over the last 10 years, we've been part of an incredible success story. Results can be seen in more than $5 billion in investment, 130 new shops and restaurants, 12,000 residents, and 2,500 new hotel rooms, and we're just getting started. The 2010 census affirms our own research that downtown is indeed still growing, with continued strong demand in spite of the economic downturn. In fact, downtown St. Louis is arguably one of the fastest growing neighborhoods in the region. But jobs are what fuels our economy. And without a doubt, the most effective way to increase jobs and economic vitality is to retain the businesses that we already have and help them grow. The success we've had so far wouldn't be possible without engaged partners like Peabody Energy. Let's face it, competition to attract and retain world-class companies is fierce. And yet, even in these challenging economic times, Peabody Energy has worked closely with us to make the downtown core an even more vital place, an exciting place to live and work. So that makes today a great day for downtown St. Louis. So I'd like to thank the Partnership's friends and supporters, members of the news media for joining us. And it is now my honor and privilege to introduce Peabody Chairman and CEO Greg Boyce, who will make today's announcement. I just have to say thank you so much. I have to say thank you so much for believing in downtown St. Louis. We're really glad you're staying.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie, for your kind words and for being part of this special day. And let me also thank our esteemed Governor, Jay Nixon, our good friend, Mayor Francis Slay, and our other distinguished guests for being here and offering the support to our city. It is my pleasure today to announce that Peabody Energy is renewing its commitment to downtown. The building we're gathered in will now be known as Peabody Plaza. And Peabody has signed a new 15-year lease. And I also add we're investing in the future of the downtown St. Louis area. Our investment in the growth and prosperity of the city is significant and sustained. We've set aside an estimated $25 million to upgrade this building. The presence of a world-class headquarters will protect area property values and attract more investment and tax revenue as we go forward. And you'll remember that $10 million in federal new market tax credits were originally allocated by the city of St. Louis for this project. But we have decided to not take up those allocations so that they can be redeployed for other economic development purposes. So we're also excited to announce that the St. Louis Development Corporation will be able to use this pool of federal dollars for future economic development activities. Now, yet while the lease and the tax credits are significant benefits to our city, I believe Peabody's most important contribution comes from the highly skilled professionals we attract here every day. During this recession, when unemployment was over 9%, Peabody grew its St. Louis workforce by 12%. We have now 600 people occupying 6 floors of our Market Street building. And by the end of the year, we'll occupy 9 of the floor's 15 buildings, 9 of the floor's 15 floors in the building, or a 30% increase in our floor space. We are so proud to play our part in supporting the growth of downtown as a critical component to the vitality of our region. At Peabody, we believe in walking the talk. And you recall that last year alone, we've been involved in multiple regional initiatives. To name a few, we're helping to restore the city's famous landmark, the Peabody Opera House, several blocks away. We sponsored Peabody Hall, the multi-million-dollar restoration at the abandoned Elephant House at the St. Louis Zoo. We built the first ever grant program to honor area educators and mentors, the Peabody Logos Leaders in Education Award. And we've issued a major grant to Epworth Children and Family Services to assist St. Louis's foster youth. And during a very difficult fundraising environment, we stepped into the gap for groups as diverse as the St. Louis Children's Hospital and COCA. We all recognize that St. Louis is an exceptional place to work and live. Every day we want to make it even better. And while we celebrate today, I should acknowledge that projects like this do not happen easily. Our partners here and many others working in city government and elsewhere made this announcement happen. It's my deep appreciation that goes to Governor Nixon, Mayor Slay. Mayor, you have been tireless in promoting downtown and supporting local business here. And Governor, you clearly recognize the importance of coal to our region's prosperity and our way of life. The commitment in this room is the reason that for more than half a century, Peabody has called St. Louis City home. And we're proud to power people's lives around the world from our global headquarters here in downtown St. Louis. So on behalf of Peabody's 7,200 employees, we look forward to continuing our great view of the Gateway Arch right here in the heart of downtown. So thank you, and now let me introduce our Governor, the Honorable Jay Nixon, who will say a few words. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There was a lot of good news there. Seriously, you talk about some of the involvements and investments that your organization as an organization makes to this community. And the list is far longer than you laid out, but also those individuals that work here, those 600 leaders you have and the others you'll add are folks that we sit next to in church, that are Little League coaches, that are our friends, that make a thriving and reviving region something that we all know will be right out there. To have an organization of this magnitude give back those new market credits to be used for others at the same time. Greg, I know that that may sound a little, for those in the media, that may sound like a little inside baseball when you're talking about that sort of stuff, but that is an incredible bit of economic development generosity that I'm confident that the mayor and his team have already got countless ideas about how that's gonna move things forward. And I just want to note that I did review the law on that. You cannot use any of those for a fifth starter for the Cardinals. Cardinals are going to have to do that one on their own, although with Wainwright's injury, it's certainly something we need to think about. It is just a pleasure for me to be here this morning for this exciting announcement. It's great news for the company, for the city, quite frankly, for the Show Me State, and I would submit to you for the country. Peabody Energy has been and continues to be a vital, dynamic partner for progress in our state, creating jobs, driving technological innovations, supporting community and cultural institutions. And you know another reason why they're here? Because the electrical costs are competitive right here in the heartland, and as part of their costs here when they have to pay their utility bill, we remain one of the lowest, and we would not be there but for the energy leadership of Peabody. We wouldn't be here as a region. Time after time after time, I sit across the table as we're negotiating to try to bring more jobs to our state, expand existing operations, work to make more products, work to expand our exports, and time and again, I have that whole card in my pocket of affordable energy with a responsible company who is spending time, energy, and resources to make sure they are using the most up-to-date technology, that they are working to make things cleaner. The only complaint I have about Peabody, the only one, today, is that right underneath the bedroom in the governor's mansion is the railroad tracks, where all this coal in the middle of the night, every night the trains come right through there. But that's the only one, and that's a very small price to pay. We tried to count them. We believe 82 trains a day pass there, and the majority of those have your product in it. Also, this expansion of Peabody Plaza is a tremendous boost for the city and the region. We can go on and on, but affordable, clean, abundant, and secure energy is essential to our environment, our economy, and our national security. And I understand that we're focused today on the city and on the region, but when you have the world's leader stepping up and saying he wants St. Louis to be its place and expand its footprint here. There's a lot of activity going on around the world with this organization, both its ports on the western side of the country, its expanding markets that really are opening opportunities for us all around the world for other businesses, not just for the energy businesses, but for the businesses that go with that. The large equipment companies, the service industries, all of that sort of stuff. You all have broken open markets for us in our state that are going to pay off huge dividends for years to come. Now, I mentioned low-cost electrical power, and I want to mention it one more time because it gives us a competitive advantage that we can't afford to lose. We must, in the heartland, be able to turn on the light switch and power the factories and power the businesses competitively. And that's only going to be possible with the continued strong effort and partnership of this organization right here. And we will continue to accelerate the R&D at the cutting edge of energy technology, including the research at Washington University's Consortium for Clean Coal Utilization, underwritten by the generosity of Arch Coal and Peabody Energy. Our hometown folks are working for the future each and every day and investing in that great organization at WashU to make sure it happens. That consortium goal is to bring together the best researchers and work to make sure that we have competitive cost energy in the future. Now, my congratulations to the employees and the leadership at Peabody and to the leadership of Mayor Slay. You just can't say enough about indefatigable is an overused word and difficult to say, but Francis, you and I have known each other and worked on a lot of things over many years of collective service to the public, and you know your city as well as any human being that's ever lived here. And today's opportunity for the future and cementing of the future of this particular great organization here would not have happened without your leadership. The state of Missouri, our country, thanks you for your leadership. The Mayor of St. Louis, Francis Slay.
Well, thank you, Governor, for that very kind introduction. And Greg, I can't tell you how much I appreciate Peabody. You know, it's a thrill to join with Comptroller Darlene Green and her team, who was very instrumental in helping this put this together, and Rodney Krim and everyone at St. Louis Development Corporation, who I know worked extremely hard on this tirelessly. But I'm here to join with all of them, first of all, to thank Peabody for your commitment to the city of St. Louis and to downtown. As soon as I got word that Peabody's lease was coming up and they were in the market for maybe going someplace else, I met with Greg and his team here early on to talk about what we can do to help them make a decision to stay here in St. Louis. And from the very beginning, everyone in their team made it very clear this is where they wanted to be. And they wanted to be here because they love downtown St. Louis. And we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fact that Greg Boyce and his team were committed to downtown and the city of St. Louis. So thank you for your commitment and thank you for all you're doing. Governor, I want to thank you and the state of Missouri as well. We enjoy our relationship and working with you to help things like this happen. And we know that there are pieces of these deals that that you're a big part of and are not necessarily out in front, but we do appreciate all the work that you're doing, and thank you for your leadership as well. And the RCGA and downtown St. Louis, of course, are all important. But for me as a mayor, to see a company like this commit to its location in downtown for another 15 years is a big deal. The company is a Fortune 500 company. They're going to retain 600 jobs in downtown. They're going to take up more space in this building. They're going to grow the business here. They're going to invest in the infrastructure. They are going to continue to do all the things that they do to give back to this community, a very short list of which Greg was recounted here earlier, and I mean a very, very short list. They're committed to this community in every single way, and the employees as well, as the governor mentioned. The prestige that this company, international company, brings to the city is immeasurable. The fact that they're here, we can't take for granted, and we don't. And so that's why we wanted to make sure We made this work for you, and I know you wanted to make sure you made it work for us, and I think this is working for everyone. So thank you all. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you, Greg, and your team for your continued investment in the city, and we're looking forward to a long relationship in the future. So thank you all, and I'm very excited about this.
Well, thank you again, Mayor Slay, for your leadership on this. None of this would have been possible without your strong help and leadership on this. I'm Svec with Peabody Energy. Before we wrap up and take a few questions, just wanted to introduce a few other notables in the room here today. Representatives from the offices of U.S. Senators Claire McCaskill and Roy Blunt. Can you raise your hands today? Thank you and welcome. U.S. Representatives William Lacey Clay and Russ Carnahan here today. We're very honored by that. We know Congress is in session. We appreciate you coming out today. In addition, we have St. Louis Comptroller Darlene Green. Thank you. Executive Director and Deputy Executive Director of the St. Louis Development Corporation, Rodney Krim, Pat Bannister, and Tom Irwin, Executive Director of Civic Progress. And finally, Dick Fleming, the outgoing President and Chief Executive Officer of St. Louis RCGA, of course. I think, as all of you know, Dick is transitioning from RCGA, but we want to thank him for his commitment to the city, which also has been unwavering, and we thought it would be appropriate to give you the last word here today. Thank you.
Thanks, Vic. Until I had a nun in high school, I was a shy kid, so to be introduced as Outgoing is really a turnaround. The opportunity that we're here to celebrate today, and Governor and Mayor and Greg, congratulations on this effort. It occurred to me that Governor and Mayor, the last 3 occasions we've had together in news conferences, they've been announcements of commitments to downtown. And the common theme has been Fortune 500. Unisys, Greg's counterpart, the CEO of Unisys, Ed Coleman, joined us in July, and then in November when they chose their location, and now here today. And that's no accident, because as the mayor and the governor and Greg have all observed, and Maggie works every day on it, downtown is a very desirable location. It's part of the reason that we have such a disproportionate number of headquarters companies in our region, is the fact that the center city of our region is such a positive asset. And a fact that is not well known in our community, we spend a lot of time and we probably don't appreciate what we have sometimes, but to reflect on what is written about the Fortune 500 companies in this town, you would think they were all gone. In point of fact, there are more Fortune 500 companies today than when the ranking started in 1992. There were 8 then, there are 10 today. The names have changed, some have grown, some have moved up. This company continues to move up, but it's important for us, we believe, to appreciate what we have. And we appreciate the fact that we have, as the mayor indicated, economic development colleagues who work hard to support our companies, Rodney Krim and his team, David Kerr and the governor's team, Maggie and her team. We appreciate the fact that we work together on this. But by way of appreciation, let's recognize this specific company. Sometimes you get too close to things, and the fact that this company has been here and has made its home in St. Louis since 1883, we forget the fact that they're number 346 in the Fortune 500. We forget the fact that they're a household name in China as we've pursued the big idea and the China project. It gets attention when you are in China with Fred and his team from Peabody because of all that Peabody is doing around the world. They are not only leading the clean energy, clean coal technology in China, but they're leading it here in the United States. And as gas or oil gets closer to that $100 magic number, we start paying attention to those issues again. And the fact of the matter is the technologies that this company is pioneering is going to revolutionize how we use energy in the future. And that is something that's going to be centered right here in St. Louis. So for that, we're appreciative. For the fact that this company has exceeded almost every projection in a positive way in terms of their economic performance. From 2003 to 2009, they achieved a total shareholder return of 533%. That was outperforming the S&P 500 by 22 times. And a lot of that's been in a tough economy. A well-managed, well-run, and very successful company economically. And as the mayor said, a great corporate citizen. We had the pleasure this past November of presenting the Amarin Corporate Citizenship Award to Greg and his team here at Peabody in recognition of the leadership that they are giving to reinvesting in this community. We're all looking forward to the reopening of Peabody Opera House. So on behalf of the business and the economic development community, we thank the governor and the mayor for their steadfast commitment to what we're here doing today, and we thank Greg and his team for their commitment to this region and to this city. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dick, and best wishes to you on your next turn in life. So I understand, too, that the St. Louis Fire Chief, Dennis Jenkerson, is here today as well. So welcome. Thank you very much. And at this time, we'll turn to questions. But before I do, I'd also like to recognize Peabody's leadership team. And would everyone with Peabody raise their hand or stand up here this morning? Raise hands and stand. Thank you.